In a quiet seaside town where the waves hummed lullabies to the shore and the salty breeze whispered through the narrow streets, lived a gentle woman named Mrs. Helen. At 70 years old, her silver hair danced in the wind like sea foam, and her kind eyes held the warmth of many years gone by. Her only son, Daniel, had long moved away with his family to a bustling city filled with noise, towering buildings, and endless motion. Though he had asked her to come live with them, Helen knew her heart belonged by the sea. The city was too loud, too gray. It wasn't home. So, she returned to her childhood town, settling into a small wooden house perched on a hill overlooking the water. It was just her now, or so she thought. Worried that loneliness might weigh too heavy on his mother's gentle spirit, Daniel surprised her one spring afternoon with a companion, a golden retriever rescued from a shelter. His fur shimmered like honey in the sunlight, and his eyes sparkled with a quiet intelligence. Helen knelt down, gently cupped the dog's face, and whispered, "Hello there, sweet boy. What shall we call you?" As if he already knew his name, the retriever wagged his tail at the sound of Milo. And so it was decided. Milo became her shadow, her comfort, and her daily joy. Together, they created a rhythm. Mornings began with walks along the beach, where Milo chased waves and Helen collected sea glass. Afternoons were spent tending the small garden out back, Milo lounging nearby as Helen hummed old songs. In the evenings, they would sit together on the porch, watching the sun melt into the horizon, painting the sky in hues of amber and rose. For 6 peaceful months, their days unfolded like pages in a gentle novel, quiet, simple, and full of love. Then came that bitter winter night. The wind howled outside, and the old heater in Helen's house sputtered as it fought off the cold. Helen, wrapped in layers and quilts, had fallen into a deep sleep. The house was still, too still. Without warning, a sharp crack broke the silence. The heater had short-circuited. A spark, then another. Within moments, smoke began to curl along the ceiling, snaking its way through the narrow hallway, thick and dark. The wooden beams groaned as they began to heat, but Helen slept on, unaware that danger crept closer with every passing second. Down the hall, Milo stirred. His nose twitched. Something was wrong. Very wrong. He sniffed the air, then bolted to Helen's door and began barking. Loud, sharp, frantic. When she didn't wake, he scratched desperately at the door. Still no movement. Heart pounding, Milo pushed the door open with his nose and ran to her bedside. He pulled at the blanket, whimpered, then gently tugged her hand with his mouth. Helen stirred, confused. "Milo, what is it, darling?" Then she smelled it. Smoke. Thick. Burning. She sat up, wide-eyed. The hallway outside glowed faintly orange. "Oh my heavens!" Milo barked again, then ran to the back door, glancing over his shoulder as if urging her to follow. Half-dazed but trusting him completely, Helen grabbed her coat and stumbled after him, her heart racing. Through the kitchen they went, the smoke already making her eyes water. But Milo knew the way. It was the same route they walked every morning, and tonight it would save her life. Just as they stepped into the cold night air, a loud crack echoed behind them, followed by the sudden roar of fire. The kitchen window shattered, sending sparks flying into the sky. Flames licked the walls, devouring everything in their path. "Help! Fire!" Helen cried, coughing. Within minutes, neighbors came running, flashlights in hand, and worry etched on their faces. Buckets of water were passed hand to hand. A garden hose sputtered to life. After a long, frantic effort, the flames were finally extinguished. But most of the kitchen had been lost. Helen stood wrapped in a neighbor's blanket, Milo pressed close to her side. She looked at the house, blackened at the edges, smoke still curling from the rooftop. It could have been so much worse. She reached down and cradled Milo's face in her trembling hands. "You saved my life," she whispered, tears rolling down her cheeks. "You saved me, Milo." Milo leaned into her touch, tail thumping gently against the ground. Word spread quickly through the little town. Milo, the hero dog, they called him. Helen just smiled and said, "He's not just a hero. He's family." In the days that followed, neighbors offered help. The local carpenter fixed her back door. A friend lent her a portable heater. And every evening, Helen sat on her porch again, Milo by her side, both of them watching the sea roll in and out like it always had. Helen often spoke softly to him as the wind played with her hair. "You knew, didn't you? You felt it. They say dogs have instincts, but I think it's more than that. I think it's love." Milo would nuzzle her hand in reply, as if to say, "Yes, and I'd do it all again." Dogs are animals with powerful intuition. They sense danger, but more than that, they understand love. Mrs. Helen gave Milo her heart, and in return, he gave everything to protect her. Thank you for listening to the story of Mrs. Helen and Milo. If this touched your heart, let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you never miss a new story about love, loyalty, and the animals who change our lives.